Hey there. I would like to talk today about ultra processed food, and I am wondering if that's even something you've heard of before. I think it's kind of new, unless I've been living under a rock, which I may be doing. I think it's a relatively new term. Just another way to categorize food, um, you know, into like eat this and don't eat that. We just can't stop. We're obsessed with this idea. Putting things in categories and then telling people what to eat. And I say we, and I'm like, really, I hate that I'm associated, but I don't take any credit, I'm going to say, for this new term. Okay? Let's let the record state. So I'm going to tell you what the definition is as best as I can, but I'm thinking you might already have an idea. Once I said ultra processed food, you might have thought, I think I know what that is. I would know it when I saw it. And you could be right. Like, you're probably right. The thing is, you might be surprised at all of the foods that are encompassed in this new category of ultra processed food. I know I was. I am. Okay, so here we go. First category, or first criterion, I guess. Mostly made from ingredients extracted from food. So, yeah, first of all, the word mostly is super unhelpful here because who decides if it's mostly or not mostly? But extracted from, ingredients extracted from food, I guess is just like components. I don't know. Like they take food and then they extract parts of it and then they put that in your food, I guess. I don't know. Like why? But I think that's what's happening here. Okay, may contain additives or preservatives. And, I just got to say, like, the whole fear of preservatives thing is such an old trope at this point. Like, we need preservatives in our food because food waste, like food waste is a serious problem, really bad for the environment, like from both directions, like because food takes energy to make, and now you've got food going in the garbage and then it takes energy to break down, and it's bad, just bad all around. Like it's a huge waste of money and resources and everything. So having food that has some preservatives and a longer shelf life, gotta say, I'm in favor. I support this idea. Okay. Ingredients you can't pronounce. Again, another like really old one here. Ugh, sometimes you don't know words. Like you may just not be familiar with a word. It could be something scary, but it probably isn't something scary. It's just something you're not familiar with. Could be one of these preservatives. It could be an added vitamin. Vitamins have, big, long, complicated words. We can't just say like vitamin E. We say like tocopherol. We can't just say like B12. We say cobalamin. Like you may just not know what those words are. That doesn't mean that they're bad for you or scary. And then there's like long list of ingredients. That's another way to identify these scary foods. And I even saw some site that said like 20 ingredients. Okay, yeah, 20. That sounds like a lot of ingredients in a food. I guess it like totally depends what it is. If you were making potato chips and you had to put 20 ingredients in there, you might wonder like, what are they doing? Like, what is all that stuff? Most of the time, if you pick up a bag of chips, I think there's like 3 to 5 ingredients. Okay, so now what? Is it still ultra processed or not because there's only 5 ingredients? I don't know, truly. Cheap and convenient, again with the long shelf life, ready to eat or heat. Are these bad things? Like, have you been to the grocery store? Food is expensive. So if you find something that's cheap, definitely buy it. If you find it's convenient and cheap, it's ready to eat, like, amazing, amazing. Why are we trying to shame people who are just trying to get by? They're just trying to feed their families food that's, reasonably priced is not going to break their bank. And now we're telling them, like, oh, you're doing it all wrong. What are we thinking here? Okay, so here's some foods that fit into this category, supposedly. Frozen meals, like, that's a huge category of things, right? Like, huge variance in, like, how much sodium is in stuff and, what it's made of, what are the ingredients of the thing, like, huge range, but no, frozen foods. Cold cuts. Cold cuts. Are you serious right now? Any parent who has had to make lunch for their kid and then their kid is like willing to eat cold cuts, like 100%, that's what you're going to buy your kid to put in their lunch. You're going to do that because making lunch is the worst. It is the worst. So why are we making people feel bad about cold cuts? I don't know. Like, I don't know. Don't include me here, okay? Cereal. This one hurts me. I eat cereal pretty much every day, pretty much my entire life. Since I could eat food, I've been eating cereal like every day, pretty much. Okay? Like 360 days a year, I'm going to say. Maybe, whatever. Okay, maybe it's a few less than that, but it's a lot. I eat a lot of cereal. And you're not going to take that away from me. I'm sorry. You're not going to tell me that that's bad for me. Packaged cookies, cakes, and salty snacks are in this category. And you might say, like, okay, that makes sense. But again, like, huge range of things in these categories. And again, school lunch or like, packing your kid lunch is all I have to say. If your kid will willingly eat goldfish, like, you're putting those things in their lunch. You are. You don't need to feel bad about it. Why are we doing this? Why are we making people feel bad? Truly, it is so important that we remember fed is best, okay? Like, you could argue with me, you would be wrong. Like, I am sure about it. You would be totally wrong if you try to argue that going hungry is somehow better than eating food. No. I don't care what you're going to say to back up your argument. You're wrong. Eating food is good. We need food to live. Hello. Going hungry is never the right thing. I mean, okay, sometimes you have to like fast to go get your blood work or get a procedure. Sure, in that situation, you're going to go hungry. It's going to be terrible. There's a reason for it. Generally speaking, eating food is good. We don't need to feel bad about what we are able financially and like logistically, feasibly able to serve our families. Okay? We're just all doing the best we can. How about we just think about food as just being food? Forget categories. It's just food. There's not like some moral value that's one food is better than another. Nutritionally, of course, some things have more of this and less of that, and sure, I'll give you that. But that's not what we're talking about. Some of these foods have nutrients added, so that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about placing judgments on food based on, I don't know, something made up about processing. Like, this is the world we live in. We don't have time to make everything from scratch. Like, that's why we have grocery stores in the first place and food that's been processed and put into packages. Like, this is not Little House on the Prairie. Okay? We have jobs and responsibilities that do not involve cooking and preparing food all day long. So, like, let's relax, okay? All right, well, I am sorry if this is the first you're hearing about ultra-processed food. It won't be the last, though. This is the thing. I'm sure it'll come up. You'll hear about it one way or another. If you have, I'd love to hear what your thoughts and impressions have been. And again, if not, sorry, but hopefully now you're ready for it when you do hear all the judgment of all the food. All right. Well, thanks for watching.